Imagine waking up to the smell of good old-fashioned smoke. You run to tell someone, and they say, "It's not smoke. It's probably just the incense I lit." You say, "But I see flames." They squint and say, "That's just a warm glow. You always overreact like this." Now you're coughing and the room's heating up, but somehow they've convinced you that you're the problem for noticing it. Or, how about one day, little Maddie saw her big brother steal a cookie from the jar. He looked her dead in the face and said, "I didn't take it. You must be imagining things." But she saw him, chocolate chip crumbs on his lips and everything. He leaned in and whispered, "You always make stuff up. Remember that time you said your teddy could talk?" Maddie blinked. Now she wasn't sure. Maybe she was imagining things. Maybe the cookie just ran away. Nah, family. That's called gaslighting. One of the most common, subtle, and dangerous tactics of spiritual attack. It doesn't just mess with your emotions. It undermines your discernment, your perception, and your connection to truth itself. And if you're a real one, you've likely felt it more than anybody. At its core, gaslighting is a manipulation tactic used to make someone doubt their own reality, perception, memory, or intuition. It's when someone intentionally distorts truth, then projects that distortion onto you until you begin questioning your own sanity or inner knowing. They twist facts. They deny obvious things. They tell you you're imagining it. The word comes from a 1938 play and later a 1944 film called Gaslight, where a husband manipulates his wife into thinking she's going insane. He dims the gas lights in their home, and when she points it out, he insists she's imagining things. He hides objects, denies her experiences, and twists facts, all to make her doubt herself so deeply that she becomes dependent on his version of reality. Hence the term gaslighting. Over time, she begins to doubt herself so deeply that she no longer trusts her own senses. That's the goal of gaslighting, to sever your trust in yourself. You're not imagining this. Gaslighting is on the rise. There has been an uptick in the use of the term, both socially and spiritually. Here are a few reasons why. 1. Mass awakening. As people awaken spiritually, they begin noticing manipulation tactics that once flew under the radar. The word gaslighting has become popular because more people are waking up to subtle emotional abuse, systemic psychological control, and collective reality distortion. 2. Rise of narcissism. We live in a culture where image is rewarded over integrity. In this kind of environment, narcissistic behavior thrives, and gaslighting is a primary tool of the narcissist. 3. Truth tellers are rising. More people, especially real ones, intuitives, and empaths, are speaking truth, which often triggers resistance. Gaslighting is then used to discredit the truth teller, reassert control, and maintain illusions. It becomes a tool to pull you back under, not with chains, but with confusion. This is where it gets deeper. Gaslighting is not just psychological abuse, it's energetic warfare. It targets the one thing that connects you to divine truth, your perception. Here's how it works spiritually. It creates dissonance between what your soul knows and what the external world insists is true. It causes confusion, which is a spiritual disorientation tactic. It activates self-doubt, which lowers your frequency and makes you vulnerable to manipulation. Over time, it can cause you to abandon your intuition, your discernment, and even your calling. In other words, gaslighting attempts to unseat the real one from your throne by making you distrust the very visions you came to deliver. If you're a real one, a truth teller, an intuitive, a pattern reader, a messenger, you are public enemy number one to any system built on illusion. Why? Because you perceive what others pretend not to. You expose what's hidden. You speak what others won't. So they gaslight you to disarm you. They'll say, you're just sensitive. You're imagining things. You read too much into stuff. You're being dramatic. Not because they believe that, but because they hope you'll believe it and shut up. They want you to doubt the signal. Because if the seer goes silent, the illusion stays intact. You sense someone's lying, but they flip it back on you. You catch patterns that no one else sees and get called paranoid. You call out a toxic family dynamic, and they say you're the problem. You spiritually outgrow a circle, and they try to shrink you back with guilt. It's all calculated. It's all energetic. It's all meant to turn your clarity into confusion. Here's the inside scoop. Gaslighting isn't always about destroying you. It's about containing you. It's a tactic to make you shrink yourself, silence your voice, mistrust your gifts, abandon your assignment. Because a seer who still sees, but no longer trusts what they see, is no longer a threat. So how do you fight back? Not by arguing harder, not by trying to convince the gaslighter. You fight it by anchoring truth in your own being. Here's how. 1. Get grounded in your own signal. Journal, pray, fast, sit in stillness. Get to a place where you're so clear on what God and the universe is showing you that it can't be argued away by people with an agenda. 2. Name the pattern out loud. If you feel foggy, say it. This feels like confusion, not clarity. Let me pause before I move forward. Calling it out, even just to yourself, shatters its power. 3. Activate your discernment. Not everything needs to be debated, but everything must be discerned. Ask, does this feel aligned with love, truth, freedom, clarity? If not, walk away. 4. Seal your energy. Gaslighting opens portals of doubt. Close them. Speak over yourself. I trust what I see. I trust what I feel. I trust the God within me. No projection will override divine direction. All manipulations return to sender, void of power. Gaslighting is not a sign you're crazy. It's often a sign you're on the right path. The truth you carry is disruptive, and anything that threatens illusion will always be met with resistance. But don't trip. Don't second guess. Don't disconnect from the very sight you were born with. Because when you keep trusting the vision, even while they deny what's right in front of them, that's how you break the spell. You weren't sent here to be liked. You were sent here to see. So see, clearly, unapologetically, and let the world catch up. Move with clarity.